Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Portal Revolution. Let's continue. So our little companion cube decided to make us do another puzzle, and then he went ahead to discover to work on setting something up, which I imagine might just be betrayal. But I also kind of imagine that he might just be making a surprise for you. It is weird that there is just not a flashlight function, particularly when you get into these back rooms. Like, that would be something that, if I was playing Portal 1 and Portal 2, the official games, every time I got into a section like this, I would have said, this feels too dark. Let's either lighten the rooms quite a bit and just make all the light bulbs way too bright, and maybe even to make a joke about how there's a power surge in the lighting system, or give a flashlight that can just be duct taped to the portal gun. We still only have the blue portal gun, so they've done a kind of remarkable job.
Surprise! What? What's that look on your face? Did you expect something bad? Yes. It's an actual elevator straight to the surface. Rare find. You're welcome, by the way. I know you humans love the sky for some reason, so I thought this would excite you.
So yeah, seems like he's just gonna let you get to the surface, which that would be revolutionary, certainly, if all of a sudden we are on the surface.
Look, I know what you're thinking. You really don't trust me, and I've done nothing but sounding like a raving lunatic or a sociopath. Probably both at once, if I'm gonna be honest. In the interest of transparency, this elevator will take you up to the surface. Only thing is, it's not all the way out of the enrichment center. When we get to the surface, we still have a little way to go before we can complete your half of the deal. I'll try to help you where I can with these old test chambers, but there's been a lot of decay, if you catch my drift. But hey, look at the bright side. There's fresh air, it's sunny outside, and I think there's a cool breeze. Just watch out for wild animals. Those are brutal. With any luck, this should take just a few minutes, and then you can go free. Hope we're in the clear now.
Interesting. We'll see how that goes. It would be a very different game, certainly, if we got to the surface and there was just head crab aliens attacking you as you need to solve puzzles. And then that would definitely add a massive amount of
Go take a look
danger
out that window for a moment.
And make the puzzle games not as easier to solve. We're seeing mushrooms here and plants, and we just don't see a lot of that overall.
See that huge spire in the distance? That's where we're headed. Little confession. I don't know for sure whether it still works. It is possible that there is just a pile of rubble waiting for us. Judging by how torn apart this place is, I'd give that chance a possibility of... Ooh, you know what? Never mind.
Here we can see a texture popping in and popping out. Yep. Inherently, I haven't played the Talos Principle 2, but it also served as potentially suffering from the same problem as Portal 1 and Portal 2 might have, in that as soon as you get outside of constructed, tight, controlled areas, it becomes a lot more difficult to have puzzles. Feels like if I could put a portal surface on any spot here, like the sun or moon or just a wall, I could break out of the confines of the game.
But we need to find a testing track. Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to torture you with endless testing. You already proved that you're capable. Problem is that these backstage areas aren't built to be as durable as the test chambers. To cover any ground here, we need to move between testing tracks.
So a little spoiler for or Easter egg for Portal 2 would be, you see these sunflowers. Now, oddly, the sunflowers are growing in different directions than from the sun, so there might be something weird happening there. But sunflowers are just not native to, I think, North America in general, or Michigan. So somebody would have had to have tried to spread these seeds. Also, sunflowers soak up radiation pretty well, so there's a reason why you might plant sunflowers, which that does give an indication that the human race is not completely eliminated, or some other race is around planting sunflowers. Of course, you could also set a portal, a fictional potential portal 3, in the far distant future, where it's been repopulated by test subjects from the labs. Although this really does not feel like Aperture science anymore. This feels like something very different. We even have little pollen flying. Inherently, I guess that's a problem with Half-Life games and Portal games, is that Valve always felt the need to one-up themselves with their next project. And so they could never really embrace the idea of doing something that wasn't revolutionary and something that would just be incremental. Whereas a Portal game, a puzzle game...
Good find. But this testing track isn't in good shape. There should be another one not far from here. See if you can find it.
A puzzle game really could be very incremental in what it was, and you could just give me more puzzles and I'd be okay with it. Standing on that will let me get there. Dropping that cube. Okay. Just drop it so the cube falls out. Then we can put that there. So this is straight up the revolution, I guess, in part, in that we are...
Again, good attempt, but this test is broken. You need to find another one.
Yeah, to have completely broken areas and have to solve things from completely broken areas. That is different, certainly. We've seen it a little bit before, but we've never seen it at what it seems like the scale will be in this game. Although I still heavily suspect we might have a revolution in the case that the personality cube may decide to try and take over Aperture Science, whatever's left of it, or that humans have already created a revolution and I am somehow working against the human race by working with this personality core. Okay, how could we get back into that room? I want to get over there. So I guess maybe you're just jumping straight down to reach that spot. We hear crows crowing also. Which, yeah. You're not likely to have one form of life without having several other forms of life, unless they are robotic crows or this is all a simulation, which that would be interesting too, I imagine, is if this was all just a dream or all just a simulation or being faked, that there were speakers playing the sounds of crows and crickets. This definitely feels closer to what I imagine you would see in some parts of Half-Life than Portal, with all the destruction.
That's much better. Might be a bit overgrown, but the hardware still works. They really use fine materials for these tests. Have to protect your investments, after all. Unbreakable materials are expensive.
This is, it seems like one of the puzzles from Portal 1. It feels very much like one of the puzzles from Portal 1. But yeah, I don't know if we're supposed to take that to mean this is number 12 from Portal 1 or not. Still doesn't really tell us anything either, because the timeline between Portal 1 and Portal 2 is a very long amount of time. Okay. So the way you solved this before would have been to just leap down here and fling yourself over. And that seems like that's still the solution. And I'd have to say that's fairly disappointing, because while visually this looks different and there's just different textures on it, you didn't have to do anything different
that this
there.
iteration of your Aperture Science handheld portal device has been specifically configured to not shoot portals further than 8 kilometers.
Yeah, they quickly learn to limit the range on these things. Can easily end the whole world if you put a portal on the sun.
Well, I tried that. So, only 8 kilometers, which is still a fairly far distance. Which also says the portal gun we have is not the portal gun that Chell had at the end of the game, at the end of Portal 2. I'd find it fairly irritating if we were just doing all of the puzzles.
I wasn't aware that the surface is in such a rough state. Didn't want to say it before, but this place is such a mess. This will take so long to clean up. Whoever did this was very thorough in their work.
Okay. We need a cube. We probably need to experiment with just what is sewage that you would drown in and what is just a wet surface. We're seeing a lot of reflections here and liquid physics. Which they really didn't get to that point. And even in Portal 2, you had the acceleration gel and the bounce gel, but the gels themselves really had fairly limited liquid physics to them, and often were just kind of cheating. This may come down to a point where it's either find a cube or find a way to cheat the puzzle completely. Yeah, at a certain level, find a cube could be fairly irritating. I guess I'm kind of enjoying the music here, so that can give us some solace. Don't think there's anything secret back here. think there's anything super back there. Yeah. Definitely is a different experience. It's just not that same rigid feel that the other Portal games had. We just did a fling puzzle, so something would imply to me that we are supposed to fling ourselves once again. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. If I put a portal here and fling myself here, maybe I'll make it over to this edge. Okay. Unless we're ripping off panels on the wall to be weighted companion cubes. We've got a dispenser here, but I don't see a button to dispense a cube. Nor do I see myself flinging myself up in that direction to bump into it or something. Okay. So I'm probably supposed to fling myself from that spot. Let's see if that's the case. Maybe I'm not looking in the right direction. Let's see where this takes us. This takes us to the button, which then gives us the cube. Okay. Means then we fling ourselves here. Undoubtedly, though, there is this recursive nature to all of these, in which we're doing the same thing over and over again. You just don't do that in your average Portal puzzle, in the main games, and the real games, and the official games from Valve. I don't know what the right phrase to use even there is. The non-fan games, the canon games.
Oh, I just realized. You don't even know how this all happened. Well, long ago, Aperture was run by a central core capable of monitoring and maintaining the whole facility. Certain tasks were outsourced to other cores, like me. Everything was great, you know? A true utopia. Until one human test subject, this little monster, just had to ruin our lives and killed her. And that's that. Most of my colleagues either went crazy, died, or disappeared. What else were we supposed to do if we can't fulfill our purpose?
It looks like a surface you could put a portal on, but nope. So that's his version of what happened. But what he just said there could be the ending of Portal 2 as much as it could be the ending of Portal 1. Well, no, actually, I guess it couldn't be the ending of Portal 2, could it? Now that I think more about what the story actually was in that case. I want to fling myself that way, which would mean I'd have to fall down this way. And then as I'm falling down this way, I think I'm going to have to shoot portal. Yeah, And that gave me a little bit more time than probably was realistic to do that. So yeah, I would lean towards assuming at this point that this is taking place in between the events of Portal 1 and Portal 2. Now it's weird, the audio is getting like really loud on one note when we enter these areas. Let's see. Either I can exclusively just jump here and then try and land, or I'm gonna have to get more momentum. Nope, it's not enough. So I guess what you want to do is something like this, then this. And then this is going to fling me up and down and hit my head. And so I want to hit that one and get the angled shot, and I think you're safe to do that. And that gained me a little bit more momentum. So we're just kind of...
Promised you could leave once we're done, but if you ever need a job in the future, don't hesitate to come back.
This guy seems nice, but he also may be just crazy lonely. Slash, big emphasis on crazy. Going back down, which is the one thing you absolutely wouldn't want to see happen.
I'd rather say this before it's too late.
At least the main character
Use the
wouldn't.
gels sparingly. The tanks aren't being refilled anymore, and what's left won't last forever. Once they're empty, we're gonna have a little problem. The gels are also highly corrosive and will eat through metal and skin given enough time. Might be good to know.
I feel like the 3D audio in this game probably is not worth it. Listening to the game through headphones, it just feels like keeping everything balanced might be a smarter way to go. Okay. So I guess this is the way. I have no idea where I am now. This would be the way you could introduce gels into the game without unlocking the whole Cave Johnson lower mine shaft of the old portal facility, by just saying there is gel here, but the gel is limited. They're just running on resources, on limited resources. Okay. I need a cube really before I could do anything, so do we see a cube down there? No. Well, let's just go over here anyways. Might as well investigate it. This powers something over there. That works fine, but I can't get over to that spot. We're not just going to be able to jump. So we're still looking for a cube. How could we get up there? Oh, pretty easily. Just fling ourselves down. could set up that jump, that direction to go over there and hit the switch. The question is then, can we reach the orange from that spot? No, so you just have to kind of come down here and then hope that worked. And that feels somewhat inconsistent as far as how much. Okay, now we have bounce gel, which isn't really what I was expecting. But I do think the bounce gel is in the right location. Just get this all. I don't think from this angle I can easily fall through. So let's just pick a different angle. Yeah, once again, recursive solution. Do something, then do it a second time, then do the next thing that you did before, with the answer being slightly different with the bounce gel in this case. And it's kind of interesting that the game straight up auto-saved. And I got that far. Just stick that up there. That'll make it easier. This goes here, I assume. So, even though there is a lot of recursion here in the way these puzzles are designed, and it definitely has a different feel from the kind of puzzles you would have seen from Valve, Portal developers, Portal 2, Portal 1 developers, I can't 100% say that they're
Gotta admit,
scraping the bottom of the
fly through
barrel.
the air like that looks pretty fun. Sometimes I wish I could do the same. It would kind of make a lot of sense to make a Portal 3 set far in the future that's been rebuilt by These
personality
tests were
cores.
never designed to be exposed to the surface. We've not come across any toxic plants yet, but stay alert. There's a reason we don't do experiments in the open anymore.
It'd be interesting if we started finding toxic plants. And then more water potentially wash away paint. These guys can't see me through the glass, which I guess is good. We don't have the orange surface activated yet. Interesting. The water is being pumped by some new device. That's not something I was expecting. But I don't have a way of sticking a portal on this bounce to do anything. So I'd have to have this activated first. What is this gonna do? This is going to suck in elements Okay. So this is going to suck in a blob of blue paint. Then what? Then after that spot, what am I supposed to do? I mean, that would just drop it. That wouldn't do anything. I think that's probably the move. But I don't see how that works. This feels very much like this is in line with... Right, these guys will start shooting at me. This feels very much in line with a puzzle I've seen before. And frankly, far too many of these puzzles do feel familiar. But then the solutions, I think, are slightly different, and certainly I've never seen this mechanic before. See if I was to pull in that direction. Not gonna work. So yeah, I don't have a way of keeping this going but reversing its flow, which is what I would normally expect to see. Even if this isn't part of the full solution here, it's questionable. Let me just try something here. See if we can gain some new perspective from being in a different location. That is not what I intended to do. I intended to just walk up here. Right. Well, the game saved when I put that portal down, and I really question if the game needs to say it saved. Okay, we know the solution there. It is to make that jump. It is just now going to be a question of how do we get the bounce gel on the platform first. Or maybe I've missed something here too. Let's see if maybe there's just a bounce gel trick here to get way up there. No, I don't think so. I don't think they'd have all these components and it would all just be one big trick. This can bring us to that spot. And then maybe I flip the switch and then I just shoot that. Maybe that's the case. We get up there and then that will get up to that spot. I'll shoot that and then I'll just let it fling. Yep, there we go. That was it. And here we go. Nope, not quite that. We have to not Have to just kind of inch ourselves over to the ledge. Then switch back to this spot. And then the game saves again, so it's spoiling what was going to happen. Okay. But that didn't work. It kills you before you reach that spot. So there must be a step here I missed. Which is probably doing the exact same thing. Isn't that always the answer? Is do the exact same thing one more time? Yeah. We're gonna kind of just wait until this gets up here. We're gonna put it on this platform here. And I'm gonna step off of it. And then that's going to knock all of them off. And I would hope that that would have been scripted, but in the main games it does often feel like it is a little bit just more random. Although, in fairness, had I knocked even one off, I probably wouldn't have taken enough bullet damage to die. And then you auto heal very quickly after that point.
Congratulations on completing this test. We hope you enjoyed your experience at the
Aperture Science Center for... Who writes these protocols? Is this all just randomly generated? Oh, of course you enjoyed it. We designed the test that way. There's a reason I don't use those scripts. Could barely get through them when I first tested you. Remember that? What did you think of my announcing voice, by the way? I've been practicing it.
Here we have some acceleration gel. Which you can only really engage with over here. I'd assume this gives us a new cube. And if we coat the cube in acceleration gel, it really doesn't do anything. And this was something I suggested for a previous puzzle, was to just put a cube on a slide and let it slide, but clearly there's more to it than that. We're going to have to coat it in the acceleration gel to make it slide, it seems. And yeah, we need bombs to break the glass, so we're not going to do that often. I assume that's all we had to do. We're just hoping that that lands. Notice how it kind of moved closer to the center there. The game cheated in my favor. Thank goodness, though. It would have been annoying to have it not work.
Wouldn't it be great to take a break from all the testing?
When you did all of that.
Just to have a nice long
even
warm
though that was a
shower
really
under
short
the cleansing fields. Washing your hair, watching your skin peel off. Yes, you heard me right. Don't try that. The fluid cleanses more than gels.
Yep. It still feels very weird that we're just solving puzzles to get from point A to point B. Definitely feels like there should be some kind of antagonist. Even if it was just a minimal antagonist, even if it was just rats. Although, in fairness, I guess if you look at the meta texture, the meta narrative here, this is the second or third
like
fan game.
Maybe I can reroute you. Let me see.
I've played a Portal, so I am
Look at that.
at this point.
Glad these things still work.
Happy and
There
volunteering
aren't many
to play
working
more
arm panels left here.
portal puzzles.
I'd love to help you solve the puzzles, but even after watching hundreds of people solve and hurt themselves in these chambers, I still don't get it. I'll just stick to maintenance if you don't mind. All about the simple things.
I like how the game gives you a couple of minutes of silence or a couple puzzles of silence and then kicks in with the music. This is a decent spot to kick in with the music. Less and less walls around here, but definitely doesn't seem like you can break free of the facility. If this is chapter 3 and there's 5 chapters or 6 chapters, let's just make a guess there. I don't see what the last 2 chapters really are going to be. Seems like it would just be getting back into a facility and solving more traditional looking puzzles at some point. Okay. So we can place acceleration gel where? I imagine the move is to do something like that. But that's hitting a wall of water, so it's probably not the first step. And I imagine that this is just a section where... Is that supposed to be acceleration gel, or is that just yellow paint? Does acceleration gel become watered down and become yellow? Okay, I don't think we've seen everything here. Okay. My guess is that we're probably supposed to stand on this, get that going, get it flowing up, then flowing back down, and then hit that to make just a long run. Okay. So let me guess that perhaps we're supposed to run here. And then that's going to give us only one attempt to fling up and shoot here. And see, this shows where a run button, whoops, doesn't make sense. How can the game like this have a run button when the run mechanic, darn it, it is so limited and tightly to... I assume if you just fall in this water, you'll die. Try this one last time. There we go. The game saved, so obviously we were supposed to do that. We'll just go ahead and hit a button, see if we get a cube. We always want a cube. It would be revolutionary if sometimes you got a turret and that just would potentially surprise you. There is where we put a cube. How do we address that issue? what we need is, I think, a further fling from this same spot. That would be my guess. Which I guess maybe we could get if we got the acceleration gel here, and then we would just run there. Which then I guess we would reach if we can just get that there. Are we safe to jump off this edge? Yes, we are. Little sneaky portal placement in this puzzle makes me question if we aren't going to end up seeing more incidents of what effectively would just be hidden object gameplay. Am I standing on this properly? No. So I think we did it. And yeah, this broken floor limits you from having any more of a run. So you're supposed to run here. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this. And then you're just supposed to keep on pressing forward to reach this spot.
I've been cleaning the facility since, well, forever. Just when you think you've seen all the ways one could injure themselves, some moron will make sure to prove you wrong.
Okay. And yeah, I think we're probably a little bit off the time here, and it's very possible that...
Looks like you're about to get an upgrade to your portal device. About time. This should make it much easier to navigate through this mess.
It'd be interesting if we got a different upgrade than just having the orange portal. Yeah, let's go through one more puzzle and see if this ends a chapter or not. Because I don't want to do one puzzle and then... Well, it really wouldn't matter that much. It looks like we have a bird pecking at a portal gun over here. And so I guess the question would come down to, are we gonna need to shoo away the bird? Now this is an interesting twist. We have never seen platforming challenges with broken cubes like this in a portal game before. There's been a little bit of platforming, but it's never been tighter, smaller sections where you have to land at specific spots. And even in this case, I'm not sure that it really is what's happening here. If this was going to be a tight platforming challenge, like a parkour challenge, we would have to be introduced to something more. I would assume that these platforms would move around or something. Okay. It seems like we might just straight up need to fry the bird. And this feels familiar as far as a level layout.
Wow, what a wreck. Hope that doesn't blow and... actually, try not to think about it. As long as you don't shake it, this planet might be fine.
And so we got an achievement there. And with that achievement, I think we are also now into Portal, good and proper. Wonder if I need to take the cube and put it here and jump on the cube. Could we do that? The reticle also shows you what was the last portal you placed. So if you place an orange, you'll have an orange dot on it. If you place the blue, you'll have a blue dot on it. Imagine that could be helpful. Okay. If I take this off that spot, then I don't have the laser anymore. And yeah, it wasn't a parkour challenge after all. I didn't have to precariously jump on squares. Okay. So I imagine what I'm supposed to do is get enough momentum outside of that section, fling myself, maybe I'm just supposed to get around in general. Nope, that does make sense. Alright, so I fling myself down here. How can I hit the platform there? We'll put the orange over here. I have a tendency not to want to use the orange anyways. I definitely feel like it's kind of a flaw here overall. That now having these spots where you can get a little stuck is requiring you to extra jump a little bit more. That's slowing down the whole process. Well, I thought parkour might be interesting. It really is just slowing down everything. Okay. I'm fairly certain that's the move. I need something that would fling me upward, and something else that would fling me upward. Yes, I can jump here. But from there, what can I do? I can see the platforms. I can't shoot the platform. I can't make some kind of infinite loop. I could bring a cube over here and stand on the cube, but that still wouldn't let me hit that. Okay, well, let's go back to what we know. We knew that when we had a cube on this button, we got a laser. We could potentially try and get the cube to fall on the button. I'm going to be really irritated if it turns out that there was something just way easier than all of this. Okay. Laser. Laser, laser, laser. Then that. Okay, so now we're up here. And unless we had the cube with us, we can't hit that. So let's get back to the center spot. Think this through. Okay. Yeah, I think this actually works kind of easily. You put that there. Then you put that there. Then you just make sure you make this jump here and don't fall off this platform. Then you move the blue while leaving the orange over there. And then you just jump down here. Got it. I was expecting that to start a new chapter, but I'm not sure we're really going to see that.
What's going on there? I can't see you from here. I'm hearing some unfavorable noises. Are you okay down there?
The elevator's slowing down, we're going down, we're seeing explosions. And
Try to find a test chamber. I can't see you there.
so now we have, with a broken elevator, gotten forced back into more test chambers. It seems. And we're getting further away from the open air sections, which I'm kind of fine with that, although I am definitely not fine with the darkness of some of these sections in the back rooms. Things are now different with the full portal.
Oh, there you are. Wait, how did you get there? Well, that throws us off course a bit. Not catastrophic, but that wasn't planned. This list just keeps getting longer and longer.
Yeah. I don't know if this isn't a case where you're actually not supposed to solve the puzzles at all. Let's see. We could jump and project ourselves, but we don't really have a place to do that, either to break into this or to get over there. Kind of don't have either option. Let's just fling ourselves down here and see what happens. Nothing much. Could there be another solution here? And this is definitely an example, and I know we're going long today, of where a hidden object game style gameplay could be introduced all of a sudden. It'd be very, very easy to have one portable surface off in the far distance. Doesn't seem like that's the case though. None of those are portal. Maybe this is more of a case where you're just supposed to jump down and then jump up. That might be the move. Guess we have confirmed that he can only see through the cameras as much as anybody else can. There's an achievement in Portal 2, I believe, where you could break a lot of these screens by flying yourself into them. There are surfaces here on the floor, so if it was a thing where you were supposed to fling yourself upward. Let's see. So my thought here is that maybe we would gain a new insight by being flung up and down like this. Not sure I'm really gaining any insight. In fact, I feel like I might be even losing some momentum, which you shouldn't be, technically speaking. Let's see if we can possibly do something like that. Also feels like you could just actually need to drop down. Maybe there's a portable surface, a viable surface in the corner or on the outside edges of the puzzle. That would be interesting. I may literally just jump off the edge though. This door's not gonna open for us. Doesn't feel like that door is gonna open for us either. Just come down here. Just see what happens if we fall. Did I accidentally end up in the wrong place? I don't think so. That would be very weird if it turned out I just went into the wrong location completely. Although it didn't really checkpoint me much. So we shot ourselves into the portal room through the window here and through this wall here.
Oh, there you are. Wait, how did you get there? Well, that throws us off course a bit. Not catastrophic, but that wasn't planned. This list just keeps getting longer and longer.
Looks like we could just leave, but I don't think you have another option. You wouldn't trigger a dialogue thing if you weren't actually supposed to go there. And so we were able to put a portal there. But that's not gonna do us much good. It does just seem like there's something I'm not seeing physically. This, I guess, will go send us higher. So, from that higher perspective, perhaps we can see. Ah, I see the trick now. So I'm gonna need to put an orange portal on the other platform. And then that gets me over here to this spot. Good. Now what? I need to probably try and gain more momentum, but I don't know how to gain more momentum. I probably didn't need to land, would have been my guess. Okay, well, we'll put the blue portal down here this time, and then we'll see if we can see anything higher. See, when you're fiddling with these kinds of things, it tends to be a case where you have to make minimal adjustments to what you're looking at. Otherwise, the automatic twisting element is gonna send you for a wild ride. Changing that, I don't think really changes too much. But maybe I could get the blue a little closer and then push the blue forward and then shoot a blue again. I think that might be the move. Problem with that is it doesn't seem like I'm actually moving any. No. Okay. Just come down here and jump that and hope that that would be high enough. I am seeing one other possibility. I could do that and then try and loop. Those loops would be harsh because it's going to try and fling me. We want to put an orange on the other platform. And now we would want to put a blue on the higher platform. I think we've got it. I think we can just walk through here. Okay, good. What now? I'll just walk through here, I guess. This feels like a different chapter, but it didn't start with a different chapter name, so it feels like they're gonna potentially just decide to give us a different chapter name later. And I guess we are flinging ourselves over the ledge. Then we just need to find a place where we can jump down and hit the orange. Which might be easier said than done. Actually, it's probably pretty easy. We just walk through this blue, move over, then we'll jump down here. Nice little rattle there. I'm not sure if you're supposed to jump down to that, though it seems like that's our only choice. Again, we saved again. And yeah. This almost looked like a doorway. Suppose it would be interesting if it was surprised there's a GLaDOS back or something like that, but I don't know if that would be that interesting of a reveal, since it happens also in Portal 2. One more time, one more way to opportunity to kill GLaDOS is not that interesting. Let's see, we've got a whole bunch of companion cubes. So we'll just place one there.
This elevator will get us back on track, but it will take a while for us to get back to the surface.
And again, it's just the elevator's taking us down lower and lower. Chapter 4, The Diversion. Interesting. Interesting title, at least. Okay, we'll go ahead and make a new save, and that'll be it for this recording. We went a little bit longer so we can start at specific chapters. I now regret not doing that in the first place. We only have 4 out of what looks like 24 achievements in this game, so either there's achievements that we're making slight bits of progress to, or there's a lot more game overall, or there's several extra challenges, which I wouldn't be surprised if there's extra challenges. Although, looking at the way these puzzles are designed, I don't know if I really would want to spend the extra energy to try and use the least amount of portals or the least amount of steps, or do things under a certain amount of time. So I don't know how you could give me an extra challenge that would make me want to solve one of these puzzles a second time anyways. Particularly back to back. I might come back to this mod years from now and play it a second time. But ideally there would be yet another fan mod for Portal, or Portal 3 itself would have been released by Valve, which I'm not holding my breath for that. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.